Alright guys, this is my 2001 Transit van which I've owned since June, and it's been absolutely nothing but trouble, unfortunately. I've made 2 videos about all the fun I've had with it, and then I knelt on my phone and lost them both. Hopefully I'll be able to get them back off again and on here for you, but in the meantime I've spent nearly £2,000 on it and now it's got a battery drain and won't start. So I was expecting to have to jump it. This is it being jumped off. Not loads better, is it? Unfortunately. Let's investigate the voltage. So this is the original battery that came with the van, fitted in 2013. This is the battery I put in it, which is about a year old. It's from the Jag, and this is the original, straight from the factory, Jag battery, which actually wasn't that bad. It was a bit slow cranking over after I left it a bit, but it seems to hold in a charge. This one's 14.4 volts last night when I charged it up. And it seemed to still be earlier on this morning, so it's possibly the best of the 3 now, because as we go through the voltages, this is the original van battery, and as you can see it's running, I don't know how well you can see actually, it's about 9.8 volts at the moment. It should be, I would say, probably 13 plus to indicate a healthy battery, so this one doesn't seem that healthy. At least 12 volts anyway, it definitely doesn't want to be dipping below 12. This is the Jag battery, 12.65, but I've been cranking it a lot this morning and it hasn't had any charge from the alternator like it should do. If you're cranking your engine over, it normally recharges itself afterwards. Unless it's my car, in which case they seem not to at the moment. And this is the one which should be the best battery of the bunch, 80 quid's worth of battery from just over a year ago, 11.6 volts at the moment. So I think the next step is to get the chargers out. Okay, right, I can only find my smart chargers, and smart chargers are shit in my experience, basically. So I've got these 2 maintainer charger things, and I've got this Draper smart charger shit piece, which I bought for charging motorbike batteries on, and that was because it was one of the few I could find that did 6 volts, and it only does big 6 volt batteries. If it's less than, I think, 8 amp hour, it won't bother with it, so that was pointless. The other ones do smaller batteries, but unfortunately they tend not to actually put any charge in, and quite often you end up losing charge when you charge them overnight on that. So anyway, there's this procedure you have to go through to get it working, and we are now charging this one. So this is for the original van battery that was reading 9 point whatever volts, so we'll leave that for the time being. And yeah, sometimes it just clicks straight onto fault. Okay. You see that fault light at the top, but it's not lighting up yet, so let's try a different one. This is the... where's that from? I think it's from Aldi or Lidl. The charger there, it's not amazing. Again, I bought it as a battery maintainer for motorbikes, but whether it'll actually do the job, I don't know. But it was, I think, 16 quid or something, so it was worth a go. I ended up with 2 or 3 of them. So if they don't work, I'm not very happy with that purchase, but never mind. So yeah, we're reading 11 volts at the moment, and hopefully that'll whack it up to 14. And this one is going to be charging the Jag battery. So let's get that going, and then we'll come back to it. So if you remember, this was reading 11.1 and now it's flickering between 0.1 and 0.0, so that's exactly what you want, isn't it? A battery charger that uncharges your batteries. That one's still the same. This one I'm not entirely sure, but it reckons to be full. I reckon it isn't. Smart chargers suck. Don't buy one. I want the least smart charger I can find, and I do have one somewhere that just literally forces power into batteries until you turn it off, but I don't know where it's gone. So anyway, let's get this disconnected and see if we can use that to jump the van off with, I think. First of all, we'll check the voltage on the other one. Right, let's check the voltage of the one on the big Draper charger that doesn't tell you the voltage on the charger itself. And it has charged up to, it said it was full incidentally, it's charged up to 13.6, 13.7. So let's hook it up to the van. I'll just use jump leads for now, but I've got the original battery disconnected at the earth, so I'll just jump it onto the terminals and do it like that. So here's the jump leads, and it's currently reading nothing. That's good. So look, it's just onto the earth strap of the actual van rather than the battery, and then the positive is still connected to the battery, so I've just done it through that for ease. so it will be running off this battery if it runs, which is a thing in itself. So let's test the voltage on it now and see if the van has sucked any power out of it. Just trying to get a decent connection. Let's have another go. Aha, right, so it's gone down to 11.3. Well, that is terrible. Right, let's try and charge it up again. Right, so we're going to plug it in and answer all the needless questions on the front. Now, it's a smart charger, so you'd think it would know that, but it doesn't, which is a bit ridiculous. So we are 12 volts, we are a wet battery, and we want to be charged slow. Let's go. And apparently 11.6 volts is full. Oh, 11.9. Wow, thanks guys. Yep, you had one job, charger, one job. So here we are. I've found the battery charger that just force charges things, and if you listen, I'm in the middle of the Battle of Britain, so that makes it more interesting as well. Hopefully we might get some charge in this before I get hit by a Spitfire. Meanwhile, in Pearl Harbor, when you hear an enemy plane, remember, duck and cover. Mission accomplished, chaps. Video ruined. Last one to the naffies, a Rob Nege, what? So I bought a new car for 100 quid and that scared the van into working with a jump start. Hooray! So, new van story. I've been running it, I've probably had it out 4 or 5 times since it wouldn't start. So I've sorted that now. I've just been disconnecting the battery every time I park up, just so that I can make sure that it will definitely start the next day. I think if I leave it for up to 2 days it'll be alright, but after that it won't start and it'll need jump, and if I let it go too low again it might knacker up again. So that's one problem with it. That also means that because it's only the remote locking that works, then I can't lock it most of the time, which is quite irritating. So that is one reason why the van should go. I've been trying to build up my wife's trust with it, I decided. Now it works, I can get the electrical problem sorted if it's worth it. So we might be able to use it as a viable vehicle and keep the Clio as well. Just, you know, as long as we can trust it to go to the seaside for the day, or, you know, maybe even take it on a holiday, which was the original intention for buying it in the first place. So I thought I'm going to start doing runs to work in it once a week. I'll take this to work instead of the Clio. If it knackers up, there's mechanics at work, so, you know, it's not like I won't get to work. But basically what's happened is, coming home from work, wasn't accelerating particularly or anything, I was just maintaining a steady speed. There was a bang, which I thought was a blowout, and so I pulled over and had a look. All the tyres were fine, and after checking around everything, got back in, and it's got no power now. It used to be actually surprisingly nice to drive and surprisingly nippy, and now it tops out at 40. I'm braying the hell out of it at the moment, and I'm at 30 in 3rd gear, nailing it. 4th gear, nothing really. If anything, we're decelerating. So I decided to back road it home, and I'm going to investigate it when I can be bothered, really. I mean, to be honest, I'm just going to park it up at the back of the queue at home in disgrace and use the Clio from now on, and see if I can get it running well enough to sell it. I was originally planning on keeping it until at least its MOT, or until I'd had it a year and the insurance lapsed, but that's not happening now. So try and limp home and not need my wife to try and tow me with all the kids in the car, because that would not be good. A little bit more on the symptoms of the aforementioned van problems. Another thing I've noticed is, if I put my foot on the clutch, it coasts fine, but it feels as if the brakes are binding, so I don't know what that's all about. If I didn't know better, I'd say that a bit of brake disc, or maybe a bit of brake pad, sorry, had come off its backing and sort of got wedged somehow and was binding. But I can't smell anything, because normally you'd smell burning. I can't see any smoke, and it coasts fine, so I'm assuming it's an engine problem, which is exactly what I don't need. You know, I wouldn't mind replacing a brake pad, or, you know, the whole brakes on one axle if I needed to, but I don't want to be having engine work done because it's a nightmare and it's expensive. We are climbing a hill at the moment in second gear. It's not a steep hill, it's a fourth gear hill. It does get a bit steeper just about here, which would be third gear, maybe second gear, but third gear I would say. But I just I don't do anything other than gun it in second, so that's what we're doing. Right, let's see if I can get home.